Everyone suddenly has cold feet about banning TikTok. Google will not comply with the EU fact-checking law, and the FTC banned General Motors from selling driver data for 5 years. It's Friday, January 17th, and this is Engadget News. With a TikTok ban seemingly imminent, TikTok users have spent the last few days fleeing to Chinese social media app RedNote, trying to learn Mandarin and bidding heartfelt farewells to their Chinese spy. But it's looking increasingly unlikely that TikTok will actually disappear on January 19th. Most Supreme Court watchers expect the court to uphold the law that requires ByteDance to sell TikTok's U.S. business or face a ban on the 19th. But it seems there's little appetite to actually enforce the law that was passed with overwhelming bipartisan support last year. Incoming President Donald Trump, who formally asked the Supreme Court to delay the ban, has said he wants to save the app. Under the law, Apple and Google are required to remove the app from their stores or face billions of dollars in penalties. That unnamed Biden administration officials are now saying that they will not enforce it on their way out the door does not mean that the two generally risk-averse companies would opt to ignore federal law, particularly when the House Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party sent letters to Google CEO Sundar Pichai and Apple CEO Tim Cook just 1 month ago, pointedly reminding them of their obligation to comply with that same law. Even if Apple and Google do remove the app from their stores, TikTok could still theoretically function for the millions of people who have already downloaded it. But a report earlier in the week in the information indicated that TikTok planned to make the app inaccessible on Sunday if the Supreme Court upholds the law. Neither Apple, Google, nor TikTok, all of whom are presumably waiting for the actual Supreme Court ruling, have responded to questions or publicly commented on any of those scenarios. Google has told the European Union that it will not comply with a forthcoming fact-checking law, and that's according to a copy of a letter obtained by Axios. The company stated that it will not be adding fact checks to search results or YouTube videos, and it will not use fact-checking data when ranking or removing content. Now, it's important to note that Google has never really participated in fact-checking as part of its content moderation policies. The company did, however, invest in a European fact-checking database ahead of recent EU elections. The upcoming fact-checking requirement was originally implemented by the European Commission's new Code of Practice on Disinformation. It started as a voluntary set of self-regulatory standards to fight disinformation, but will soon become mandatory. Google's Global Affairs President Kent Walker said the fact-checking integration simply is not appropriate or effective for our services in a letter to the European Commission. The company also touted its current approach to content moderation, suggesting it did a bang-up job during last year's unprecedented cycle of global elections. Google also points to a new feature added to YouTube last year that enables certain users to add contextual notes to videos, saying that it has significant potential. This program is similar to X's community notes and, likely, whatever fresh hell Meta is cooking up. Walker went on to say that Google will continue to invest in current content moderation technologies like SynthID watermarking and AI disclosures on YouTube. Now, we have no idea what the EU will do in response to Google once digital fact-checking practices become law. This is happening just after Meta announced it would be ending its fact-checking program here in the U.S. So who knows if Mark Zuckerberg will comply with EU laws. X scaled back its professional fact-checkers a while ago. Big Tech certainly seems to have a big problem with, facts. The Federal Trade Commission has taken action against General Motors and OnStar for allegedly sharing details about drivers to third parties without their consent. The agency launched an investigation into the automotive company after the New York Times found that General Motors had collected data about customers' vehicle use and sold it to third-party platforms used by insurance companies. The information came from the OnStar Smart Driver program, which customers with GM vehicles were encouraged to participate in or did not realize they had agreed to join. The program gathered data about behaviors such as hard braking, late-night driving, and speeding, and reportedly sold the information to LexisNexis Risk Solutions and Verisk, which, in turn, sold that data to insurance companies. Shortly after the Times report, GM said it had stopped sharing the sensitive information with the two data brokers. This week, the FTC proposed a settlement that will see both GM and OnStar banned from disclosing consumers' geolocation and driver behavior data to consumer reporting agencies for 5 years. These companies will also be ordered to take additional steps to increase the transparency and choice for customers surrounding the information they collect and share. In a statement, GM said its Smart Driver program was ended last year due to customer feedback and ended its relationships with third-party platforms. It added it would also seek affirmative customer consent to collect and use connected vehicle data. In addition, it has pledged to give drivers more transparency and control, allowing affected users the chance to access their personal information and request its deletion. Thanks for listening. This episode featured journalism from Carissa Bell, Lawrence Bonk, and Anna Washenko, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back on Monday with more tech news from Engadget.